Yo.
Hey, welcome to the new meta, episode 164.
164. Amazing. How do we do
Amazing.
it? And look
I don't
this
know.
young.
What the hell is on your neck?
Oh, it's like a thermal layer. It's
Oh,
cold.
okay.
It's good down
I
kickball.
thought maybe you got some. I thought you got a new tat or something. You
Yeah,
know?
dude, I got one of those neck tats. Good luck.
I've seen people that actually did that. It looks ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get a neck tat, face tat. It'll be nice.
Get that Tyson tat?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nothing wrong. I think you're making pretty good choices in life if you get face tat.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I
think you're going places.
Yep. Agreed. But yeah, we won kickball. Second game
won
of
a
the
kickball
season
match?
that we've won.
How does that even happen?
I don't
Did the other
know.
team were you playing third graders? Like what?
To be honest,
you know?
So the first team we played was just like they were bad, but like that was like our best week we ever played. I think because we actually had like a lineup because people show up and then it's just like okay, like people hand like a phone to each other and you like put your name. I'm like we should like strategize a lineup.
What do you mean? What? Hold on, stop. Wait, what?
Yeah, so like the lineup is just decided by like, okay, here's the phone, put your name in, like there's
What do you
no
mean,
strategy.
a
lineup for a kickball.
Like, so you're not on the same team every day?
Yeah, you're on the same.
Every
Do
game?
you understand? Like, have you played baseball before?
Yeah, you talking about position that you're playing on the field? What do you,
Their
like
spot
kick,
in the
kick
lineup.
order?
Yes.
Yeah, like where you're gonna kick?
Yeah.
It blows my mind that it's not set in stone. Like
Right.
what?
It's not.
I'm
It's every
confused.
week. It's just like random AF.
Confused. How you could just put your name in the phone and that's the order you
that's
go?
it. But in the first game was the only one that we're like, okay, well, like these guys can kick, so like let's put them together, and then we'll just have like a bad inning or something, so, and like.
My mind is blown already. That would have been the first change I made on the team. I would be like, wait, what the hell's going on here?
There to like play and leave. So
put your name in the phone. Let's draw straws to see the kicking order.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. But yeah, I mean we won this time. But to be fair, this time we only won because they were short a girl. So every single time they cycled their lineup, they got an out.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
So there's like there was one
So
time they had bases loaded and then they had two
Yeah.
outs, and then like they got to the bottom of the lineup and like, well,
Jeez.
sorry, dude. So you have to have at least 4 girls on the field.
Better find a girl next time.
Yeah.
Sucker.
So,
That's cool. Well, I'm glad you got your first dub, man.
second dub.
Second dub, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we're 2-6.
Yeah, that's not bad. You can make the playoffs in the NFL 2-6. Yeah.
But I think actually next week's our last game, so I don't think we have any shot at making the playoffs. So
Right.
Yeah.
So you gonna sign up again?
like next spring. I don't want
Next
to play in the
spring?
winter.
Yeah.
I'm not about that life. Way too cold.
There's no indoor kickball leagues.
Probably is, but I'm like not that interested in kickball. Like if it was softball, I'd play in the winter. But
Yeah. I'm done.
Yeah.
Cool.
Games?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's ride the
Cue
ball.
it up. All right. So last week we asked about this little mom and pop indie game that has having some big things on the horizon. New meta podcast question of last week: overall hype level for Path of Exile's Scourge. Option 1, oh my god, poggers. Option 2, meh. Option 3, what's a POE? Option 4, excited but optimistic. And coming in, the big majority is OMG poggers.
What's the
42%.
POE?
What's a POE? Second place.
Good job, guys.
13%.
I'm so proud of you. Listen, you 27% are so big brain. I'm so proud right now.
Is that because like it's the funny option? I'm just curious.
No, that's just my peeps right there.
Okay,
They're
okay.
like, yeah.
Coming in third is meh at 20%, and fourth is excited but optimistic.
Yeah, if you combine my Met and what's POE together, like we're the majority. We're 47%, baby.
What's your vote?
I would. There's not really a one that fits me too well, so I would probably pick Met just because I think the patch notes look good and it's going to be fun, but I'm not excited to play. Really, you know what I'm saying?
Why?
Because I'm not going to. Like I already know I'm not going to. I don't have time. Like I'm raid logging
But
in WoW,
it's
and that's what most of my friends
twice
do.
as fast to make it to Awakener now. So like
Twice as fast.
you can
2x?
change your background. Just
I
kill
like it though.
Awakener.
I like it. He's so cool. Look, he's like blasting me in the back of the head
And
every
die
day.
beaming you every single day. Die.
What's your level? What are you? Oh my god, poggers! Excited but optimistic.
I'm super excited. I think that the passive tree like masteries are like huge. Yeah, like a lot of the poison and chaos nodes are actually really cool, like the masteries. And the new skill gems are like meh. And we'll talk about some more of the Path of Exile stuff later on. But
yeah,
we're gonna do a follow up.
There's something else that you already had in there that I wanted to ask about too. So
okay,
I'm gonna jot a note. Yeah.
And then the question for next week, which again, I'm sure will be everybody's favorite. New meta practice question of the week. What are you league starting in Path of Exile Scourge? Option 1, OP meta cuck build. Option 2, building something new. Option 3, same thing every league. Option 4, not playing Scourge.
Okay.
Tweet that out.
OP meta cuck build. Huh?
I mean, like, some people are about that life. It's fine.
I mean, yeah, man. I'm not mad at you.
And people are like, what's Darky playing? I'm gonna play that. So yeah. People do that. It's fine. Nothing wrong with it. No shame. I wouldn't do it. I make my own way every league. I redefine the poison meta every league in Path of Exile. It's crazy.
I'm sure it goes well every league.
Yep.
Too.
Someone already voted not. 2 people already. Okay, whatever. So yeah, jumping into the news. So Diablo 2, like week after week after week, is just like
it's going smooth, man. It's running amazing. Nothing here. It's stellar launch. Blizzard got a win, finally.
Yeah, heavy sarcasm, by the way.
None of that was true, by the way. 0.
So I guess it's like there's a lot of fastest select this image. If you're listening in, it's the display of the new queue. So Diablo 2 implemented a queue because like
servers
couldn't handle traffic, and like instead of like people just randomly like not being able to connect, they just like put a queue in so that you're more likely to connect. But I guess one is that the community didn't necessarily feel like they were like notified of this, or the communication was like great of this. So like people just like log back in and all of a sudden there's like a queue, and they weren't like expecting that. So that's something that people were unhappy about. And 2, like if you're on console, like you just don't have this. You're still just like, it's just, you flip the coin when you click play game, and it's like it either finds a session to put you in, or it's like, no, go fuck yourself. So
yeah, it's been pretty bad, man. I don't know what to say, because it feels like it's so running the ground at this point. It's like it's been a month. The game launched. It'll be 30 days soon this week, right? Or in the next couple days.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I feel bad because it honestly doesn't even feel like this is the team responsible. It feels like this is battle.net.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you gotta be pissed if you're like,
or
Vicarious Visions, and you're like, well, I feel like we did a good job. People are liking the game itself when they can get in. Yeah. But like connectivity and getting disconnected and stuff. I haven't heard like a ton of stuff of like, oh my God, like this is an exploit that we figured out, or like cheating is rampant.
There's this huge graphical issue. I mean, there's been some, but like this, this is a huge misplay or bug or whatever, remaster glitch. It's all been battle.net. Almost all of it's been battle.net related that I've seen.
Yeah.
So it feels bad. It's interesting to see. I'm curious. From my community, I've seen people saying in Discord and in messages that I've gotten that they're burned out already, and they're already like, that was cool.
Yeah,
but,
that's actually the next
I'm done.
Subject.
Oh, is it? Yeah. I should have looked, I guess.
Well,
speaking of transition.
Yeah. So, one of the top Reddit posts this week says, I love a D2, but I find it difficult to keep grinding for like GG gear without more challenging content to use it on. How do you stay interested? And, this is something that we talked about a lot coming up to Diablo 2 Resurrected, is like, if you're not a big person and just like wants to make alts every day, and like do new speed runs and like different builds based on what you find or whatever, like, Mr. Llama, he can just like start a new character every day and like, oh, I found this, so I'm going to try to make a build off of that. And he loves that. Like, that's his jam. Yeah. But those of us that aren't insane and can't just do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again forever. I did think the game was shallow. It's like a 20-year-old game. So,
right.
This is something that we saw coming. So yeah, I'm curious. Obviously, there's a lot of upvotes on this. I haven't got to play a tournament myself, and I know you haven't like basically played it at all.
A little bit, but not much. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, like it's the same game at the end of the day. It's just like, farm, remake game, farm, remake game, farm, remake game, and then
yeah. And I think this goes back to like where they should add more content. And so back to my previous comments is that people in my community are feeling the burnout. They've told me, they're like, it was fun. The bugs killed it for me. The rollbacks killed it. And then now I have zero desire to play. And other people were like, well, I was pretty lucky I didn't have any problems, but I'm still, I'm already on to the next game. So, yeah, it's interesting to see. I'm kind of curious how people are feeling. You guys that are watching the pod, if you're live, you can throw it in chat. But if not, if you're on YouTube, throw in the comments, man. Tell us like what you're thinking about the season. Like if you're still
blasting
in love or what. Yeah. So, and if not, what do you moved on to? I think this will be a good tell for the POE season, right? The POE season is going to hit Friday.
Yeah.
How many people are going to jump ship from D2 and go to POE? And then are they going to go back to D2 or is that kind of like, all right, peace, that was fun?
Yeah.
So,
and again, I think that comes back to that original, like, Blizzard said that they could do stuff in the future with D2R, and we still have no idea if that's even a possibility, or if it's been successful enough to warrant that, or if they can even monetize something like that, and if they would do, like there's so many question marks about the future of D2R. So
yeah,
I think there's a ton of people that would just be completely content that like nothing ever happened ever.
Right.
Which is crazy.
And here's something like that kind of trails me into another thing is they just announced, and this is connected, so don't think I'm derailing too hard yet. They just announced the WoW Classic Season of Mastery. Have you seen this thing?
The what?
They're calling it the WoW Classic Season of Mastery.
Wow, Doc Leave.
This is like Classic Plus is basically what it is. They just didn't call it that. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because if they did a Diablo 2 Resurrected Plus, they dropped the ball super hard on the WoW Classic Plus. Like, to me, there's nothing in this that is exciting to make me go back. And I'm going to list some of the changes that they made.
Okay.
And then kind of relate it to say, like, I know it's different teams, but man, they had such an opportunity and they just squandered it that I'm like, if they did a Diablo 2 Resurrected, plus or more game modes, I mean, I don't have faith that Blizzard wouldn't fuck it up, if I'm being honest.
Really?
Yeah. Here's what they're doing in the WoW Classic Season of Mastery, which is just a plus mode. So, you're going to have the same phase 1 launch with Maraudon added, and the PvP honor system and battlegrounds from phases 3 and 4 are at launch.
No idea what you're saying.
Yeah, so basically WoW Classic came in phases. It was phase 1 through 6.
Okay.
And every couple months they would advance the phase, which added new content to the game that followed the cadence of the original game's release, right? So they're throwing in the honor system, the PvP systems that didn't release until 6 months into Classic instantly.
Okay.
They're lowering the experience it takes to level by, just ballparking, I would say it's probably between like 30 and 40%. And then they're adding in making the bosses tougher. Like they're removing raid buffs and making the bosses have more HP to make them harder. And like, that's really about it. That's really all they did. And it's like, so why am I going to go back and grind Classic all over again for a relaunch?
Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah, to have a 12-month raid cycle instead of 2 years, a 12-month cadence instead of a 2-year cadence, and to have PvP instantly, like that's not enough to get me to go back. The bosses take longer to kill. Why am I? Okay, cool. So instead of killing the boss in 3 minutes, now it takes 5 minutes. Like, does that make you want to play?
Right. No, I mean, I never wanted to play to begin with, but I mean, I do have confidence in Vicarious to like add legit Diablo 2 content because, you know, we were in on some of those panels and like some of the guys on the team, like they're in it. And obviously the line of communication is like very open with like Mr. Llama and some of the like really hardcore D2R guys or D2 guys. So I mean, I feel pretty good that they could make something that was like cool, but I mean, we don't know until they do, right? So.
Yeah. So like some of the things that they missed in that is like they didn't rebalance classes. So the DPS classes that were shitty are still shitty. And like I know somebody in chat was like, well, they removed the debuff limit. Yeah, so that helps a little bit on a few classes, but it's still not going to make them pumpers. Like, so they should do things like rebalance. Like, and if they do it at D2R, like you would want to rebalance, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You would want rune word rebalance. You would want like maybe end game
skills that suck,
quality of life features at minimum, right?
Yeah.
You know, so like so many things that they had an opportunity here with this Classic Plus thing to like totally just shake up the game and just make it like, yo, that's legit. I want to go play this. Like if they just even did a class rebalance, you'd be like, dude, I want to get in there and play that. You're telling me that I could play a Boomkin in WoW Classic now and it's gonna pump? Like hell yeah, dude. Or whatever. I don't even like Boomkin, so that's sarcastic. But you know what I mean? And it's the same with D2R. I'm nervous, man, that they would just this feels like a money grab to me. It's like I don't know. I don't even know, but
I think
I hope D2R they don't do that.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just have to see.
Yeah.
I have some confidence in them, but you know,
it's a different team. It's a completely different team.
Right.
So like that's the only plus side is like, you know,
Right.
this team hasn't done that yet, but it's like, man, I hope if that's so like ladders will come and then a year from now maybe they'll be like, okay, we're gonna do like a D2R plus, whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
So
now one thing I did want to quickly touch on, and there's not necessarily anything to talk about, but you know, we're kind of at that point, season 24, Diablo 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah,
we should probably have some idea what's going on. Like I haven't heard anything. I don't know if you've heard through the grapevine about anything on the horizon.
I would expect something, but that's just me expecting something. You know, it's about that. When did the season launch? Do you remember?
Let's look. Season 24.
I honestly don't remember. I don't think it was
July 23rd.
That sounds just right. So it's been 1, 2, 3. It'll be 3 months this Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So 4 months seems to be typical, like what we've been doing with the PTR. So yeah, and then a month of PTR. Drop the season 5 months in. The cadence seems to be longer. It's not 3 months anymore. The last couple seasons have been more around the 4 or 5 mark. So yeah, I would say we're probably due for some patch notes or PTR. I would say 2 or 3 weeks.
Super due. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say we're probably at least 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks out. So
PTR update.
Yeah,
That's
if I were to
true.
guess, you know.
Yeah.
But we're due for something. They gotta, you know.
Yeah, I think
step up and
you know,
and juice it up.
I think maybe stuff and things with other projects are getting in the way. Maybe, I don't know.
Could be. Should be different teams.
I
right?
agree, but I don't know.
You know, it should be different teams.
I don't know.
So, yeah. I don't know either, man. I'm honestly, I haven't played a whole lot of this season of D3. I wonder the feedback. You know, I thought I played about 3 to 4 weeks of the season, I think, and then I haven't really touched it much since. But the first that first 2 weeks, I would say, was actually a lot of fun. It was good. The ethereal weapons, I think, were a hit. I think this was probably my favorite season theme.
Yeah.
So far.
I don't remember. Like usually with some of the other seasonal teams, it's like you know, circles on the ground, a mega lull. But I didn't get that impression at all. Like, but I only played for the opening weekend because, again, they made the massive mistake of lining up with Path of Exile. So
yeah. Well, that won't be a thing this time.
Right, great. But that's the good news in all this is they're being very slow, therefore it's not lining up. So
yeah,
thank God.
So their cadence is off finally. But yeah, I think this was a good season, man, and then hopefully the next one's even better. I think like we've said a million times, at this point it's going to be like opening weekend. I'll smash it, and then if the season's good, maybe we'll play a couple more weeks. But I don't know what they could do to make me play for an entire 3 months. I don't think there probably is anything that they could do.
Yeah, again, with what we say every league, right? Is if you play 2 weeks and you're engaged for those 2 weeks, great success.
Awesome. Yep. Put some micros in there, dude. Sell us some stash space.
Yeah. Get us more content, bro. And the last few content updates, like for DT, although minuscule compared to the major competitor Path of Exile, are still like historically, if you look at D3's history, they've been really fucking juicy. So I'm excited to see. What would you want to see coming up? I know I've nailed my idea into the coffin about we need some kind of corruption. We need to be able to brick items or slam items in Diablo 3.
For a seasonal theme, or for just an actual update, like a game?
Either.
Either. Oh man. It's hard to gauge the realm of possible, right? Because ideas I have would end game, any end game activity that's not greater rifts would be amazing, but I don't have an idea that they could easily put in the game, right? Sure. Without serious development. But I think something like easy wins, I don't know if they're easy, but I would say Primal Dust and some kind of extra crafting on primals. I know that their crafting system is very basic, but if you put Primal Dust in there and then maybe a cube or something that you could re-roll with Primal Dust to hopefully maybe change some affliction or stats or rolls on primals or chances to make primals or something. Some kind of basic crafting advanced, because there's really no crafting
really
in Diablo at all.
Which is wild.
It's so basic, right?
Right.
So even if you put some really novice crafting in there, I think it would still be a win for the game.
Yeah.
So I would say something along those lines. That's in the realm of feasible, but if end game activities are what the game needs more than anything.
Yeah.
So.
People in chat spam put Harvest in. I mean, I still think I've said this 100 times, but Diablo 4, if they need to step up their game, obviously, as far as difficulty, and POE deemed that Harvest was too noob friendly, but I think it's just that perfect middle ground between complete and total casual Diablo and uber craziness.
They said Harvest was too noob friendly, but then everybody that I know bitched about when they took it out and changed. Reddit was pissed.
That's what I'm saying.
Every content creator was pissed. Everybody was pissed.
Right. So Diablo,
I don't know where they got that feedback from.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know how they collected that kind of feedback when it's I didn't see anybody that was fuck yeah, that's amazing. I'm glad you took it out. Nobody. I never once read that comment.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in total agreement with you that the D4 itemization team should get all over the wins from these other games. They should look at, okay, what was the community's happiest times in PoE?
Sure.
What were they doing? What was, okay, Lost Ark's going to hit, right? And Lost Ark is going to be out way before D4 at this point, it looks like. So when Lost Ark comes out, okay, what are they doing? Does that fit anything that we could do? What are the wins there? Can we steal any of those wins? And any of these other games that are coming out in the meantime, Grim Dawn or whatever. So.
Yep. And this. So I don't know if you saw this, but Lost Ark is officially entering a closed beta next weekend, I think.
Yeah, it's the 4th, which is
the weekend after next weekend.
It's the 4th. So right,
4th through 11th.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks from now.
That's pretty cool, man. And it goes. Is that 1 week? Yeah, 1 week. I haven't. So here's my hang-ups with this. Is it's a closed beta. To get access, you have to be a supporter. What are they calling it? Supporter packs.
Yeah, there is a random chance you can get invited, but yes.
Oh, is there? Yeah. If you're a supporter, if you buy the supporter pack,
You get in.
you get in. And I really wanted to get more information about their monetization systems before I was like, I'm a supporter pack. But I'm probably going to end up buying a supporter pack so I think, can get into the beta.
Like, regardless of, like, okay, so say this game comes out and it's completely pay to win. Like, you and I are still going to have, like, probably a ton of fun just playing PvP for a while.
Unless they monetize it. Yeah, they
can
change it.
Yeah, there's no, you can't make it more pay to win. Like, it's not pay to win in Korea, so why would it be pay to win here?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so. I agree. I think even if it comes over just as it is, it'll still be fun. I just hate paying for beta access. I think it feels dirty. So
yeah, I mean, I already bought like the biggest package because I'm like, I'm in. Like, I'm gonna love playing this game at least for a bit. My only hang up about playing the beta is like I just don't want to burn myself out on the launch. So like,
I'm the same. I'm the exact same. But I'm really excited to play the game with some real translations. And I'm assuming if they're giving us beta, that means the translations are done.
Yeah.
Right. So the UI should be done. I hope the voiceovers are done and all that. Like it'll be cool. So I'm assuming their voice. They talked about doing voiceovers and how challenging it was. So
honestly,
I assume that
more than anything, I'm just excited to like actually read what the skills do. You know, like it's always like been a rough.
I made up my own story at some point. I literally just stopped paying any attention to the story, and I'm like, just making up story of the people talking, and my story was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Totally. So yeah, it's I'm excited for Lost Ark. I really am.
I mean, we know the story. It's like the head demon guy, and he's always sucking dudes. He's always sucking people.
The head demon guy comes down and he kills lots of people, and you're chasing him or running from him. I'm not really sure. Something's happening, and then you fight a lot. It's cool. So you go to Final Fantasy VII Midgard City, and like it's dope.
Yeah. Well, Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk City.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. I'm excited for it, man. I can't wait to play it, and I do want to play it on the 4th. I want to get in the beta really bad, so I'm probably going to end up. The cheapest option they have is $14. So
I went all out. I got the big one.
If you really want beta access, you can spend $14 and get in. For $24, an extra $10, you get like a bunch more in-game goodie currency stuff. So I don't know, man. We'll see.
And then
chilling it out.
On top of that, the Reddit is hosting a 3v3 team deathmatch tournament during the NA beta. So first place gets $1,200, second place $600, third place $300. So
cool.
That'll be exciting to watch. I probably will watch that if I don't compete in it myself.
Oh
no, I don't want to like download it. I like it. I don't want to get burned out.
Wait, do they let Halo pros play? I thought
not.
like once you're a pro, you can't play amateur stuff.
True, good call.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like illegal.
I mean, I know if they would find out.
Do you have to register your thumbs as like
weapons?
As like weapons. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
And then I saw this, and this is cringe to me. This is so cringe. I don't know if you saw this, but so Lost Ark's announcing new cosmetics. For the
they've
Korea
been doing
version.
this a lot lately.
And they're like actual clothes, like
I mean
sweaters and
that's cool.
Baseball caps.
Would people buy that in Korea? Like, did they actually?
Why would you want your character in like an fantasy-based ARPG?
It had a name on there, so that must be some kind of like what cat lady? Are they doing Final Fantasy stuff now?
I hate this shit.
The Red Riding Hood dress one's not as bad as some of the other ones.
This goes back to like Santa hats ruin everything. Like I just can't stand it. In any game, like you got these like cool, badass looking people, and all of a sudden, like, oh, Christmas rolls around, so everyone's wearing a fucking Santa hat, and they like implement some kind of cosmetic Santa hat. It's like,
all right,
stupid.
So is the Santa hat? Do you hate it because it's permanent? So what if like Lost Ark put Santa hats in, right? But they only lasted for like 2 weeks, and then they poofed.
It's better, but I'm still annoyed when I log in and I see everybody wearing a Santa hat. But
it's just because you're Scrooge.
No, I hate holidays. It's true. Yeah,
it's because you're Scrooge, man. Like I think it's cool. Like WoW does it, and I always get the Santa hat and put it on. It's Christmas time, man. Rock it up.
Yeah, you're everything I hate. But yeah, it's just like weird cardigan sweaters and like normal street clothes. I don't know.
Yeah, that looks pretty lame. The Tron set looked really cool. So
yeah,
that's weird to me that, I guess. I wonder what Nira's dress room is. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe it's like
I have no idea.
An actual thing over there.
Yeah, maybe it's actual, like someone is like a fashion designer or somebody.
Yeah, it's like they're Kardashian or some shit. I'm gonna look it up. I'm scared.
But yeah,
it's yeah, I don't know. Didn't pull anything up. So,
and now on to your favorite little mom and pop indie game called Path of Exile. So if you don't know, POE baby, it comes out tomorrow.
Yay!
Like 3 o'clock our time, 2 o'clock our time, one of those two.
3. I think it's 3 o'clock. It's historically been 3. So
Yeah. I'll of course be playing, so stay tuned for that, chat. But I'm super excited myself. And they've done some like new stuff since we went through some of like the highlights last week of like the trailer and everything they talked about. We did say we're gonna kind of like look at the patch notes today, but it's just like so not interesting as if you're not like really into Path of Exile.
Right.
So we're probably just gonna go over some of like the new announcements that they made just since last week. Will PChild finally kill the Awakener? No. So Tainted Exalted Orb, this is a new currency they've added. It can add or remove modifiers on a corrupted or rare item. So it's like an Exalted Orb, but for corrupted items, which is actually huge. Like, because like once you corrupt something, it's like done for. And plus, like this new, thing that you're going to be able to do in Scourge is like corrupting the item. So like being able to modify it post that, I think is really important. So this is good. I'm sure these will be quite rare though. Also, all these new crafted, corrupted, modifying items, which is great again because you're going to be constantly corrupting items in Scourge, so it's important to be able to modify them post corruption. There's another one too that I didn't capture, but there's one that I think I tweeted it out. It's actually really cool. Unpredictably raises or lowers the tier of each modifier on a corrupted rare item. So like you could have something that's like
super good,
and then you slam it with this,
more.
And then you just like totally F.
And then like one stat will go up and the others just get juiced down. And you're like, wait, what?
But it sounds sexy and fun. I wonder how rare this will be though.
It sounds like it could be super clip of the century if you slam something and it all goes up, right? You actually hit.
Yeah, that'd be nutty.
But
what will more likely happen would be like
is we'll
going
see you
down
just
every single
fall
time.
through your chair. You're like, oh no,
Yeah, this will be a fun item for sure. I think. Yeah, I hope it's not that rare, but it probably is.
If you play Trade League, you'll get lots of them. Yeah,
but who plays that crap? And they also announced kind of the show the 2020 gems and all the updated gems. Adds like some new tags, like critical tags, a lot of the gems, which is big because there's some new passive masteries in the skill tree that will give like plus to critical skill gems and stuff like that. Like Cobra Lash became a critical skill gem, which is kind of interesting. Makes me quasi interested in that.
Yeah, me too.
But I will say, I was planning on building out like I really wanted to try like a poison tornado build, but you can only have one tornado at a time. So there's that, but you can like shoot stuff at it and then like it'll absorb that damage and like do that damage or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, well I'll play like a spell projectile. So I'm like I had that really kind of fun Arcanus brand Ethereal Nice build from like 3 leagues ago. I was like, well, I could just do that again because I moved. You can get the nodes more easily that were across the tree, and like that was the worst part about the build is you had to like go all the way across the tree to get like some brand nodes. And so like now you don't have to go as far, and so it's like, oh, let's play that again. But then they changed like how Arcanus brand works, so like every single time it triggers, it costs mana, and it's like triggering like nonstop. So your mana just like deletes instantly, and I was like, it almost feels like unintended because like of how they did a rework to the triggered spells.
Yeah, it's like a casualty, unintended casualty.
And so like then I looked at like, okay, well let's look at PO Ninja. Like, are people even playing like Arcanus brand anymore? And so like you go to like builds and you look for Arcanus brand, and there's like not even a full page of people that are like, there's like 7 people that play Arcanus brand.
Diversity, man. It's diversity. What are you talking about?
They just completely got out of this guy. Where are they even, like, they have to know, but yeah, it just seems like so unintended because you just instantly drain him, man. And it's not even like that good. It was never that good. So weird champ. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, there's so much content in Path of Exile that's like, stuff like this is bound to happen. Like,
So what if you make a tornado and shoot some poison into it? Can you have it like choose the poison?
I'm hoping so. Well, we won't know exactly until tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that's the dream. So I'm having to reconsider what I was going to do because I was thinking Arcanus brand, but that's not going to work at all. Also, they announced the Zana Mods, and these are pretty juicy because of, like, so we're going to have Uber Blight this league, we're going to have Uber Legion this league, we're going to have Uber Breach this league, and they're all on the map device. So that's pretty huge because you're able to juice those and get higher chances. And they also did like Atlas skill tree reworks, which I didn't put in the thing, but those are all like really, really interesting because now there's only 4 regions of the Atlas instead of 8. So like the choices, the skill trees are bigger and like the choices are harder. So you really have to like specify like, okay, this league, I'm really going to, buckle down on doing some delve or whatever. You have to invest in that. So I like that about the skill tree. Obviously I'm a big fan of skill trees anyways, but this thing's huge. And I don't know if we talked about this last week, but they're basically deleting, you know how like you got to maps and you had to like find all the trials to be able to do like your last ascendancy? Like they're being like, okay, fuck that. You don't have to do that anymore, which is great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You can just straight go there and just do it, or what?
Well, you just got to find the Uber Lab thing, the statue thing, and then you can go, which is great because that was so annoying. Like getting to like level 93 before you could even like run your Uber Lab. Ridiculous. But now it's gone.
Yeah, I remember people like mooching. Like I'd find one, and people in chat would be like, "Oh, I need that too," and it, like there was a way you could share it or something. So
yeah, you could. Yeah. Annoying. Yep. But yeah, outside. And then they had this kind of controversial Sacred Orb situation popping up. So there's like a new, and I'm not exactly sure. Like I think this is saying. Like, so say you're playing, like, I don't know, D2R or like POE and like, like an Assassin's Garb drops. It's like a chess piece and it can come with like 1,000 evasion on it. And like that, and you could juice that up with like %2 evasion on like the prefixes of that item. But now there's like, they're doing a thing where like, oh, well, that Assassin's Garb could drop with like 850 evasion or it could drop with like 1,200 evasion, and there's like a mini min max to all items going forward. So like you could find like like a unique that's like the unique that you needed, but then there's like that min max if you're like obsessed that like, oh, I found the unique and it actually rolled like perfect like base evasion or something like that. I think that's something that they wanted going forward, and so there's this new currency orb called Sacred Orb. It's like super, super duper rare that will like re-roll that like base evasion value, for example. And players are kind of upset about this because, on the one hand, there's the argument that like you finally find the item you've been chasing this whole time and it drops, but it rolled like the worst possible like base defense. Yeah. And then you're kind of inherently like sad and like, well, now I have to find a Sacred Orb to like make this item good. Instead of before, it's just like you finally got that drop and it's like, cool, I got the drop. Like that's it, right? Yeah. And so
because it's some items in PoE seem like they're impossible to get. Like you're already chasing the impossible, so if you did get it and it rolls like shit, it does feel bad.
Yeah, so. I get that. Like it's never a good feeling to be like, yes, I finally got the thing, and it's like, oh, but it sucks. And that's kind of like a D3 thing a lot, right? Yeah. Like you can see a crispy, you're like, fuck yeah. And 99% of the time, it's total garbage.
Yeah, all the time, they're total garbage. You know? So
I get that mentality. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it myself, and I don't really get the point of adding like this additional tier of like weirdness. But I guess we'll have to see how it plays out. And then something that's I don't have like a necessary link for, but like people are talking about is like, so Scourge, the mechanic itself. One of the things I noticed kind of like right away is like, so you put this item in this like cyberpunk thing that you insert into yourself.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then like you have to basically always kind of be juicing an item. So it basically means you always have to have like backup items that you're like interested in corrupting. And I think that can be like that will probably be kind of weird. Is that like you're not always going to have something that like, ooh, this is good enough to corrupt, because once you corrupt it, you can't really craft on it some more unless these other types of currencies are like super common, which I would like really kind of doubt. Right. So like you'd have to have not only like have backup stuff, because you can't like put your main shit in there, but you have to have backup stuff, and it has to be like already like kind of crafted on and good already. Which is kind of, I
wonder
like
how much of that thought process that goes into a trade league versus the SSF. Because in trade league, it may be a lot easier to get backup items to start corrupting on too versus the other guys. I don't know, but
so that card, kind of feel like, especially as SSF player, because it's like, well, I mean, like, it'd be cooler if I could like corrupt like a base type that I really like, and like, ooh, cool, I hit something, and then start investing on it. But I guess that kind of defeats the purpose. But I don't know. Yeah. It just feels a little weird, champ, to me. And I just feel like that will be something that maybe will be raised pretty early in the league. Is like people are like, well, I don't really have anything to like throw in there. Like maps, you can always like, once you unlock the map part, you can always be throwing maps in there, and that's like easy peasy. Like always have a map going, always have a map going. But like there's a weapon slot and there's an armor slot, and it's like, what if I don't really have? Like,
yeah, what if I don't have backup stuff to throw in there?
And then you're like, are you just doing it for like alts at that point, or I don't know. Because it has to be like fully rolled stuff because you're corrupting it. So I don't know. That's a big question mark to me, but we'll see. Maybe gear just is dropping like out of the ass, and Scourge. Who knows?
Yep. Maybe the corruption currency is going to be more common than you think too.
Yeah.
So where you can craft on that, you know. So time will tell. So speaking of all these things, right? I mean, are you going to hit on POB at all?
Oh yeah. And so passive building has the new stuff out to play with. So like you can already see like these glowy parts that you can actually like go in and drop from the drop down, select exactly what you want.
This guy's a madman. Does he make these changes just based off of the patch notes, or does he have an insight at POE?
I think he has really some insight now. I think before he had to wait, but I think now he gets.
Because I'm like, how could he have gotten all of this juice right? You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's cool.
Is it a single guy that makes this shit too?
I don't know.
I never looked into it, dude. Like this is just crazy dedication. Like POE should honestly just hire this dude and be like, okay, this is your job. No, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, it's actually like, I mean, for those of us that just like love Path of Exile, like this has consumed like most of my free time this week, just like playing.
Just digging around builds.
Yeah, like it's basically like revisiting every build I've ever made and seeing like, okay, does it get better, does it get worse, which you always kind of do with the new skill tree. But now like these are significant changes because these masteries are so different, and the tree is so different than it used to be. So it's kind of exciting. It's super exciting. So poison, those are good, man. The poison masteries are super good.
Can we just compare this to the D4 skill tree, please, real quick?
the skill twig? Yeah. Yeah, so. exciting, sexy stuff. I'm ready. My body's ready for tomorrow.
Body's ready? Are you? What's your plan, man? You gotten some special food, special routine? What's the deal?
I need to go shopping still. I'm gonna get some snacky snacks, but that aren't gonna make me obese. So
that's the hard part.
Gotta keep that body looking prime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at least until you settle down.
Yeah.
At least until you calm down a little bit.
Totally.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. I'm excited for all the POE dudes tomorrow. It's always good to get the notes, and they kill it, man. Every time the notes look amazing. Yeah. It seems like the notes aren't a good gauge if the league's going to be hit or miss, though, at least from your standards, because there's sometimes when you're like, this looks awesome, and then you're like, yeah, I didn't like it that much.
Yeah, heists.
And the other times like, yeah, this doesn't look that good.
Didn't look good. I mean, Heist looked good, and playing it, I was like, oh my god, I hate this. Ultimatum's like, this seems exciting, and then Ultimatum, I really, really didn't. I mean, following up Ritual was like anything was probably doomed, but man, I loved Ritual. Like, I was so addicted to it. Like, I still cannot believe like the amount of hours that I played Ritual. Like, it was just insane. Like,
so if they had like a Ritual classic, you know, and you could go back and do it again.
That's what D4 should be. No, I mean, I think that I'm excited to see, you know, what's on the cusp. But I would love to get to experience another league that was just that addicting. Because I don't know about anyone else in chat, but I never stopped playing Ritual. It was ridiculous. I played the entire 3 months of Ritual. That's crazy.
That's yeah. I mean, if it keeps you hooked for 3 months, that's sickness. Like,
that's
maybe
insane.
the next league you were just on burnout. So
yeah,
maybe that's why you didn't like it that much.
I mean, Ultimatum was pretty shit, but
yeah, it's funny. Yeah, man. Are we on to off POE?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wrap it up.
So there's two little things that I thought would be interesting just to have a conversation about.
Okay, lay it on me.
I don't really have links for them, but just topics.
Okay.
So, I follow Destiny 2. I haven't played it much in a long time, but I've always followed it, you know, because it's one of those games that I fell in love with a long time ago. They screwed it up, and I still hope it gets better someday. They announced their next expansion, and like their marketing team is the best on the planet. Like they can make hype. They make me hype for the game, and I already know like I'm going to be disappointed, but it still makes you hype. Like their marketing team is just that good.
Okay.
But they announced their next expansion. The trailer looks sick. The info looks good. But then in that, they have 3 exclusive dungeons, and these dungeons are tied to a digital deluxe version of the game that aren't included with a season pass or with the base version of the game, the expansion. You have to buy the digital deluxe to get them. And people are pissed, and rightfully so, because I am too. Like, I'm not going to buy a digital deluxe. Digital deluxe starts around $100, the digital deluxe copy of the game. So to get these 3 additional dungeons, you got to spend $100 on the fucking expansion. Like, that blows my mind. It's like, dude, if I spend $40 on it and you're not going to include it with the season pass or anything else, like, what are you talking about, dude? That's like, man, am I off base thinking that that's just disgusting?
No, I mean, that's awful.
That's pretty horrible. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure. Like a lot of this Activision was at fault for all their monetization and all these other things. And it's like they broke away. And this is these last 2 expansions have been solely just Bungie doing their thing.
Right.
Nobody else guiding them or forcing their hand. And it's like they've just embraced this monetization, this horrible monetization scheme so bad, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty sick. And then the second thing I wanted to talk about was did you see that they're making a Mario Brothers movie?
Wait, what?
Yeah. And they got Chris Pratt as Mario.
Is there a trailer for this?
I don't know. And
Chris
Pratt tweeted about it. Chris Pratt tweeted it.
Weird.
He tweeted it out. Yeah. There might be a trailer. I mean, I can look real quick. But I don't know, man. I don't see how it could be good.
Oh, it's animated.
I didn't know that, honestly, but that's cool. I wonder, I don't know. Yeah, that lowers my hype. For some reason, I thought it was a live action because I just saw his Twitter and he was talking about doing it. So,
yeah, I mean, I guess I'm surprised they haven't really done a Mario movie before. Like I said, like, you know, like a little animated.
That one from the 80s that was absolutely garbage. You remember?
Oh, yeah.
As a kid growing up?
Right.
Yeah. Did you watch the TV show as a kid growing up?
There's a TV
Super
show?
Mario Brothers Super Show? Yeah, dude. And they had like Zelda. They had like the little Zelda cartoon cutoffs in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a kid growing up, it was on Saturday mornings.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, you're so much older than me, so.
Yeah. That's funny. Let's get into some fluff hates. PChild loves.
Okay, I got one for you. This one's weird.
Okay.
I want your opinion. and chat's opinion. And because it's just a weird situation. I mean, it's not like something I'm conflicted about, but it's just like the whole thing's funny. Okay, so like I split up with Lindsay like forever ago now, and as part of that, she's like, yeah, like there's no way we could ever be friends, and like I don't really like want that with you. And I'm like, okay, like that's kind of sad, but like whatever.
Yeah.
And then last week, she decides to like unblock me on Instagram randomly, and I can't help but feel like that's just like bait. Like she wants me to go look at like her profile. Like, so I feel like something's happened. She's like gotten engaged or who knows. Like she just wants me to like see it. Like, and she's just like baiting me to see it because like she made it very clear that she didn't want to be friends. So I don't know. It seems kind of.
Did you look?
No, I have not looked. Absolutely not.
Then how do you know you're unblocked?
Well, so I go into my story settings and I can see who looks at my story. And so like every once in a while I'll check it. And so she was looking at my story. And so I was like, oh, if I can see her on my story, that means I'm unblocked.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, there's a lot of things that would make me think. It would make me think that she's obviously still cares. Like, you don't hate somebody's guts unless you care, right? Because if you don't care, you genuinely don't care. Like, if I don't care about somebody, I don't care if you're doing bad or good. Like, I just don't care, right? Like, I'm not thinking about you. But if I hate somebody's guts, that means I care enough to actually hate you, right? So she's probably still like either a I miss you moment or like, something like that. Or I just wonder if we could,
See, for me, I think like knowing Lindsay like I know Lindsay, it's for her, it's like, I want you to see how moved on I am. So I'm going to unblock you just so
But you're not
see.
Moved on if that's how you feel.
I agree. I think that's like that train
you're
of thought
not.
is inherently
That's
not
like,
good.
that's behind the scenes. Is like you're not. Like you're still
Right.
way not over it if you care.
Sure.
Because like I have exes that at the long time ago, I was like, I'm over her. I don't care about her. F her. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But then a song would come on and I'd flip the song, right? Because that was like our song, But if it bothers me, then why? Like, and I'm not over it. You know what I mean? If the song comes on and I'm like, change the song, then that means like some for some reason it still bothers. Like now that song could come on, I'd be like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't care about her. I'm over it. So
Yeah.
I think it's like you're faking it. You know what I mean?
Sure. The best case scenario for me, I'm thinking in my head is like, oh, like she actually does want to be friends, and that would be cool. But I just don't think there's that.
There's no good that comes from that friendship.
I don't think. I think you're wrong. I think to me there's no one did anyone wrong in that whole breakup. Like maybe I took her off guard, and it was like sudden, but like no one did anything wrong to each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be that. It's like you had this was your window, and like you guys, this is your book, man. It's the end.
But you're like best friends with these people for years, and they're just like,
just
throw
but that's
all that
cool.
away.
But it's part of the book. It's in the book. Like you were best friends in the book. The book's over. The end. It's
sure,
on the
and
shelf,
that's why
dude.
I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
Yeah. No, you're gonna look, dude.
No,
There's
I'm
no fucking
absolutely
way.
not.
There's no way.
No, because it's like last week. I have not looked. I'm
okay,
I'm
bro.
not gonna do it.
We're gonna do like a bro pinky swear.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you next week if you looked, and you gotta promise you'll tell me the truth.
I will absolutely tell you the truth. I'm not going to look. I'm telling you with 100% certainty. I am not going to look. And it's not like I don't want to look because it's gonna like drudge up all these feelings. It's just like
it's gonna be in your feed,
like
and you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I'll just keep scrolling. Maybe some more will pop up. You can't have somebody else look you there.
This is why I wanted to bring it up, because I think it's interesting. It's an interesting conversation point to bring up and talk about, because like there could be 1,000 different things, and I'm sure this is relatable to.
I'm sure it's all of the above. I'm sure it's I miss him right now. I wonder how he's doing. I'm gonna unblock him so he can make him jealous. It's probably all of those things. But if it's I'm gonna unblock him to make him jealous, well, that's part of because I miss him. Like, why do you care? You know what I'm saying? I think they go hand in hand. Because if you didn't miss him, you're not thinking about him. And if you're not thinking about him, then who gives a shit if he's jealous? So like, and if you're so happy with new dude, why are you trying to worry about old dude and make him jealous? Like, if she's got a new guy, then clearly she's not happy with him. If she's thinking about you,
I think knowing Lindsay like I know, she's probably engaged, and like she just wants me to see that. Probably
you have to like go out of your way to unblock you though. Like you have to like.
True.
That's a thought process. That's like, I wonder what he's doing. Fuck him. I'm gonna make him jealous. Let me pull up my Instagram and I'm like, dude, you're not over at that point. If you're engaged to somebody else and you unblock you to see it, ooh, I feel sorry for dude. You know what I mean? Like he has no idea what he's getting into. You know, so
yeah, I thought it was funny.
Nasty. It's nasty.
So, I thought you'd have an opinion. So
yeah, I did. She's not over. You just call her up and say, hey, what are you doing?
No. Well, no. I gotta assume that my phone number's still blocked too. So like that would just
maybe
happen.
not. Maybe it's an invitation,
dude. I'm absolutely not gonna do that. No way.
Would you though?
No.
Okay. Hypothetical. Hello.
Okay, give me the hypothetical. What's the hypothetical?
That's the hypothetical. Knocking on the door.
Yeah, we did this last week.
And you open up the door and she's like, one last time.
No.
I don't believe you. All right.
Well, both of us would have to go through like the most drastic of life changes for that.
No. Not with the kid. Just one last time.
No, right. That's what I'm still saying. That's the response. Like both of us would have to be like
no.
Totally
not like one go at the thing. Just one night.
Oh no. That's messy. That's messy.
It's just the one. Nobody's just one time. One. We didn't get that one last.
Nope.
Yeah, you're a lie. That's why you're smiling.
I'm smiling.
Smile if you would. Smile if you would. He's trying so hard. You can't even talk because you'll smile. Okay. Just for you guys listening to the audio version, he's smiling.
I am not smiling.
You are right now, see?
Because you're baiting me. This is ridiculous. Can we move on?
All right. Yeah, we can. So for PChild loves, I got a couple things. And so first thing I'm going to do is this is going to kill the vibe. And I'm sorry to kill the vibe.
What's happening?
But we had one of our Diablo community members passed away. I know he was super active in my stream. I know he was in your stream. He was a Patreon supporter of the podcast. So Demonic, I just found out that Demonic Grizz passed away. And it actually happened longer ago than I didn't find out about it for a long time. I don't think anybody knew really.
How'd you find out?
We were having,
How'd you find out?
Well, we had some messages. We were DMing each other, and he's like, "Hey, he sent me some messages, and he said, I'm really sick, and I'm in the hospital, and it's super sad, man." He said, I wanted to make sure if I don't make it, that I got an opportunity to tell you thanks for always being nice to me in your streams and hanging out, and like sent me like this big message about like I appreciate hanging out and spending time in your community, man. And so I responded back to him and I was like, I'm sorry to hear that you're sick, and like, stay positive and you pull through, and, just like, positive vibes. And I guess I didn't, I think I didn't take it as serious as I wish I would have. You know what I mean? Because I get things like this from people more frequently than I should, I guess. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, he's probably sick. Like I guess just me is he'll be okay. He'll be fine. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, I did wish him well, but I really wish that I would have, had more conversation with him. But yeah. And so anyway, so we had those conversations, and over for a couple days, we were just sending some DMs back and forth. And I sent him some messages, and then I didn't get a response back,
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple days goes by, and I sent him another message, and I didn't get anything back. And then like a couple weeks had gone by, and I'm like, sent him another message. And then when I didn't get a response back to that, I started digging, like we were Facebook friends. So I started looking on Facebook, and then on his profile, I saw people that were saying, rest in peace, brother, and this and that. So then I went through the feeds, and I saw something his stepmom had posted about like official,
Yeah.
So it's sad, man. And You know, it's weird. Like I didn't know him in real life. Like it's not like we were buddies and we hung out like, you know, like I knew him since we were a kid, but he's been in my stream for 3 or 4 years. And so when you see people around, this, you know, it's sad. It's just, I don't know, man. It maybe I'm emotional. I don't know, but I was definitely a little taken back. You know, it's like, fuck, man. Like, you know, this dude came and hung out my stream every night for 4 years. Yeah. It didn't matter if I was live, he would always stop by. You know what I mean? He was always like, yo, what's up, he?
Yeah.
And so it's just, it's sad, man.
Agreed.
You know. So my PChild loves is I guess the community, man. And, you know, rest in peace, D.
Mm-hmm.
So I know a lot of us will miss you, and it's not just me. I mean, he was in like pretty much any D3 streamer. You know, I think he hung out in everybody's streams. So
yeah.
But you know, it feels bad. So sorry to kill the mood, but I just, you know, wanted to pay a little respects if I could. The second thing, I went and saw Venom. Let There Be Carnage. Dude, that movie sucked. It was garbage, dude. It was so bad.
Okay. So not a so bad. Like, and you love movies that are shit. So like, this is surprising.
This was not like, people said it was good, and I'm like, dude, this movie, it was bad. It had some comical moments that were okay, you know, but they tried to force a lot. Like there were some funny ones, but I would say like 3 of them were funny, and like 10 or 15 they were just like throwing stuff at the wall to see if it'd stick, and it didn't. It was super predictable, very generic, shitty plot. Like I don't know, man. Don't waste money on that movie, guys. Wait till it's on like something for free where you can watch it for free. But the coolest part of the thing was the trailers before Venom. They had a new Spider-Man movie trailer that looked dope. Like it looks super sick. So if you haven't seen the new Spider-Man trailer
or whatever,
yeah, the one with Strange. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you haven't seen the new Spider-Man trailer, then you should definitely check that out. I thought it was cool, and the Eternals trailer looked really good too, which that's been around for a while. But I don't know if it was an extended one. The Eternals trailer was pretty long that they showed for that one. So that was cool. So I'm getting hyped. Eternals comes out like in 2 or 3 weeks. So.
I did watch Widow.
Yeah, it was bad. Widow was bad too.
It was not.
Yeah. Venom was worse than Widow, though. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Like if you had like Widow was definitely better than Venom for sure. And then yeah, Dune's out. I haven't seen Dune. I do want to see it, so I'm probably gonna watch that this weekend. And then
ooh, you know what though? The well, this might be a spoiler. Oh, not really. The Taskmaster, the bad guy, right, in the movie.
Yeah.
Badass. The girl. Oh man, she's top 5. Woo! She's like one of the James Bond girls from like what was that movie? I think it's like
wait, you're talking about Silence? Widow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Her sister?
The one that was in the suit that had like the fucked up face.
Oh, yeah. I don't. Did they? They didn't like. She's
not in on like movie, anything.
Right? Yeah.
But she is. Woo. I remember seeing
I'm looking her up.
Man,
I honestly can't remember. Oh yeah. Her name is Olga.
Yeah.
Kurylenko. Olga Kurylenko. Yeah, she's not bad looking. She's pretty nice.
Yeah.
She's in something else too, though. What else is she in? I've seen her in other things.
I think that she's been in much else.
I don't know. Yeah, that was there was no really redeeming things from Widow. So
yeah,
I don't know. You did see 10 Rings though, right?
I have not yet. No.
Oh, dude, that's the one you should have saw.
I still haven't been in the theater. Like I didn't see Widow in the theater. It's finally on Disney Plus. It was free.
Oh, I thought Rings isn't on Plus yet. It should be soon, I think. Then. But yeah, I guess that was really it for my loves.
Okay.
So I'm hyped up for the new movies. And don't waste money on Carnage. It's bad. Anything else before we jump into Twitter questions?
No. Lay it on me.
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
If you guys want to submit questions to the podcast, you can tweet at myself at Lord__Fluffy or join our Discords. We each have new meta sections. The first question comes from Rank 1 Civ 5 Syria main. He says, Fluff, how hyped are you for Scourge League? PChild, are you going to play a lot of Scourge League?
You go first.
No, probably not.
Kill Awakener.
I think it's very unlikely that I play. I do think it looks. I think the map changes are cool. Honestly, like there are a lot of qualities that are like, yeah, this would be a fun league for me to play. It's just a time thing for me. Like I just don't have the time. And if I do get a couple minutes of playtime, I think there's other games I prioritize above PoE. So, unfortunately, sorry, man.
Yes, I'm very hyped for Scourge. I'm always hyped for a new league in Path of Exile, but I think this one with the Atlas 3 update and the passive masteries, like passive masteries alone, are really exciting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. Maester May just says, what's the worst Halloween night is either a kid or an adult? Like, what's your worst Halloween you've ever had? I don't know if I've had like super bad. So I'll just answer for both. As an adult, as an adult, for me, with kids, you want to take your kids trick-or-treating. And there was a Halloween a couple years, my two youngest kids were like super little. And it was like kind of like the first one where they were getting dressed up and walking around themselves. Like they had just got big enough. And it was like freezing ass cold and rained. And it was like freezing rain all night. And so we're out trying to take them trick-or-treating. And it was just miserable. So it kind of ruined it. As an adult, that was probably the worst. As a kid, I did, as a teenager, we went out and like TP'd some houses or something, and we had some guy chase us with a gun, and I thought I was gonna die.
Like literally an actual gun?
An actual gun. Yeah, he actually shot a round off in the air. So, because we TP'd his house, we didn't even egg it. Like egging stuff like destroys stuff, right?
Yeah.
But so I don't want to tear your shit up, but TP in a house is like, that's fine, right? So it was a kid that we knew, like it was his house, and like there was 4 or 5 of us, and we TP'd his house, and his dad came out, wanted to be super alpha. I'll kill you guys, and start shooting a gun, and we were like, oh shit, we ran. That was pretty scary.
Yeah.
That was the last time I TP'd a house, so. Like I almost died over toilet paper. I'm out, dude. This is bad ideas. I don't know. We were pretty little. I couldn't drive.
St. Louis.
Then,
so. That's called it, chat. St. Louis. Only in St. Louis. Gosh. Worst as an adult, I was dating a gal forever ago, and she was having a Halloween party, and so like she's like, you should invite your friends. I was like, okay. So like I convinced my friends to go to her party, and we were supposed to go to like a bar, like that was having like a Halloween party, like they would have been like popping. And so we go to this party, and like we're the only ones there, like the whole night. And my friends are just like, "Fuck you, dude." And like I liked her, so I was like, "Yeah, like let's just hang out, let's play some beer games, like it'll be fine." But yeah, it was real shit. As a kid, like there's a couple Halloweens where like I can remember like there were. Definitely like I think in one Halloween I had like a Reese's that had like someone had like put glass in it.
No,
yeah,
for real?
Yeah, and so like my parents like that's after crazy. That like would inspect our candy like every year.
I always inspected my kids' candy anyways, from just because of good practice.
Yeah. But when we were kids, anything went right. Like
yeah, they were like. The preacher was like, come downstairs, the candy's in the basement. And we're like, okay, cool, let's go. Like,
but best Halloween as an adult was also a while ago. Like me and my friends dressed up as like the village people. And like one of my friends went like all out, and he was like the biker guy, and he did like straight up assless chaps.
Oh, damn.
And we were going to like house parties, and we're all look like super legit, and we come in and like we had like a boom box, and we like play the YMCA when we walked in the houses and stuff, and it was like super fun. And like multiple times throughout the night, people would go up to like him and like touch his butt and go, "Ew, oh my god, it's real." It was just like the funniest shit ever.
That's hilarious. He should have like ripped one right when they would poke too, like got him. Oh my gosh. Coviticus says, have you ever been in a major disaster or catastrophe such as a tornado, earthquake, or flood?
Yeah, I've been a
Yes,
couple.
yes.
Yeah, a few actually. Like as a kid, there was a couple of close calls with tornadoes. Nothing too crazy. As an adult, we had like where it was in Belize, and there was like an earthquake off the coast, and so like everyone was like being evacuated, but like it never turned out to be anything. But everyone was freaking out. But then when I was in Morocco, there was like a once in every 10, 15 year rainstorm, and like I had to like drive the motorcycle through like a rapid river, and there's like 4 dudes on each side of the bike, and like Lindsay sitting on the back, and I'm like revving the engine so it doesn't flood, because it had like the intake was high enough to be over the water, and it was like that was fucking crazy. Like everything was washed out. Everything was washed out.
So the engine was submerged. Luckily, it didn't crack the block too.
Yeah.
Like getting, that's craziness. Yeah, I've had a couple. So tornadoes, they're not super uncommon in St. Louis. Like the Midwest, we get tornadoes every now and then. I've been driving. I was driving on the highway one time, and there was tornado warnings, and like an idiot, I was younger. I was like in my early 20s, and I was like, "Oh, I'll be fine," and I started driving. And then in the distance, you could see it you could see it, and like once you see it, you're like, "Oh shit, what do I do?" Right? Because it's close, and then it started getting windier and windier. And it actually, I was in a Ford Explorer and a big heavy ass SUV, right? All-time 4-wheel drive. And I turned around, and I'm like running from this thing at this point, right? And the wind starts blowing bad enough that it actually slid my car off the highway. And I remember turning the wheel completely the other way, and it didn't matter. The wind would just push me off. And I went in the grass and went in the ditch and stopped. And then I didn't remember even checking if I was stuck, but I was like, I guess I'm gonna die here. Do I stay? Like, what? You don't really know what to do. Yeah. Luckily, it went far enough away from me, it didn't get me, but the wind was strong enough, it blew my car off the highway, at like 10 miles an hour. Like I'm surprised it didn't tip me over. And then I've been in some earthquakes, but nothing major. Like I've had it shake stuff off the shelves. But flood, the city that I lived in 92, so I guess there was a flood in 70, 72 or 73, which I would say wasn't alive for that one. But in 92, 93, I lived in a town on the Mississippi that actually was underwater because of the flood. So I was sandbagging for that. Like I remember sandbagging for days, trying to build walls up for the restaurants and stuff downtown. And then it actually flooded up, and I was a little, pretty young, but it flooded out half the city. It was pretty crazy. So
yeah.
That's it. The next question we have comes from Mickey is King. He says, "What's the best response to 'I hate you'?"
Thank you.
I figured you were going to say "I love you," but well, okay. So there's like different ways to look at this. Is it somebody that's seriously saying "I hate you," or like, so if Fluff says "I hate you," my response is going to be like, "Yeah, like thanks," or "love you," or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But if it's somebody that actually hates you, like genuinely hates your guts, what's your playful response to a friend, and what's your enemy?
Yeah, playful response to a friend would be like, "Well, I love you." Enemy would just be like laughing. I don't know. Be like, okay, like shoot. What? Okay, let me ask you this one. What if like a loved one was like screaming, "I hate you"? Like legit upset.
I mean, well, it depends, man. Because like, if your brother or your mom or whoever says "I hate you," like they don't mean it, right? You're just like, yeah, you're just pissed right now. You get over it in a couple days.
Okay. What about a sig fig?
You probably say nothing. If it's somebody that you genuinely hate back, like it's an enemy, then just be like, "I nothing you." I don't know. Like I don't know how you would say, like what would you say to get under their skin more, right? Because that would be my thing. How could I piss them off even more? And if it's playful, I don't know. Thanks.
Yeah.
Good. I don't care. Yeah, I don't know.
That was one of the things. Like, it was one of the big turning points in my last relationship. Was like we were down in Acapulco, and she had a little bit too much to drink, and she was like screaming, "I hate you!" I'm like, I don't know how you come back from that.
Huh.
That was weird.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So, but that was a fun plane ride home.
Yeah, it was weird.
Hex says, if you could know the absolute truth to one conspiracy theory, which one would you like to know the answer to?
Probably the moon. Like, let's be real. We didn't go there.
Funny that you said that, because that's what I was going to go through too.
I mean, like, I would say like the 9/11 thing, but like I already like kind of I'm full on board already.
Well, okay, so what's our choice? Like, what are our big conspiracies? So they're like JFK, right?
Okay.
Grassy Knoll.
Yeah.
The moon would have been my choice too.
Yeah.
Because like, did we really go to the moon? Like,
right.
Have we? You know?
Why haven't we gone back?
But have you seen Transformers Dark Side of the Moon? What were they doing when they were out of range on the moon?
Autobots.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, was there Autobots? Were there aliens up there that they brought home? We don't know.
Yeah.
Area 52 or 51, sorry.
Yeah.
52. I don't know where I got 52. Area 51.
Just alien stuff in general. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, is that a conspiracy? If Area 51 is classified as a conspiracy theory, then absolutely. That's what I would pick. Like, if I were president, the first thing I would do is I would unannounced travel to Area 51 and be like, yo, let's go. I'm like, show me the stuff. I'm walking everywhere. I'm walking around the place. They can't stop you, right?
Yeah.
You know?
True.
So
you get all the secrets.
Yep. But that's my choice. I don't even, what other conspiracy theories could we even?
Man,
those are the big ones.
There's so many. Lizard people, do they exist? Is that a real thing?
Bigfoot. Loch Ness Monster. Let's see. It says, Coda says, what was the last movie that you watched on a DVD?
Can you put your phone on silent? Ready? It's like 4 times.
Yeah, it's fucking work blowing me. Shit's crazy.
What was the question? Oh, it was
10:30 at night. It's still blowing me up. What's the last movie you watched on DVD?
DVD. I mean, I still own like 3 or 4 DVDs, so I think The Social Network is one of the ones I own. Does Blu-ray count? I mean, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, the same thing. Well, let's say it doesn't, though.
Okay.
Right?
Californication.
Okay, that was a great show. I watched it on Netflix. Though.
Yeah, season 1. Everything.
Yeah. So if we're talking about Blu-rays count, dude, Avengers, I think, because I think it was Avengers, the first one, and then for an actual DVD, probably like it was probably Godfather. I think I have the Godfather trilogy on DVD, and I watched those with my wife once she had never seen them. So blasphemy. That's it, man. That's all questions. Man.
Easy.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Santa conspiracy.
Yeah, chat's going great.
What other conspiracies did they list? Are there any ones? No. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
So, all right. If you guys want to catch more of me, you can catch me at all the places at ThaPChild.
And I'm Lord_Fluffy. Double those underscores on the Twitter. We'll see you boys next week for 165.
165.
Peace.